Hello YouTube, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing another environment speed paint. Trying not to make it look too crazy this time. This time's going to be slightly different. We're going to start off with a sketch. So let's dive right in, shall we? Got my blank canvas, sketch layer. I'll label that sketch so we don't get too confused. And let's go. Just lay some lines on the page. This will be my horizon line at a Dutch angle, they call it. It's not a completely horizontal angle, slightly tilted. Don't know why they call it a Dutch angle. Because Dutch people are slightly tilted? I don't know. I know what I do want though. I want a real extreme structure shooting up into the sky. I want to do something more zoomed in actually. Most of my work is too panned out. I want to zoom this guy in. So in order to do that, you make bigger shapes. There you go. We're zoomed in. Oh, that was. I want to steer away from just the rocky landscape, even though that's exactly what I'm sketching right now, a rocky landscape. I don't want it to be like that. I want there to be something different about it. I mean, I guess that's different. Don't know. Let's do the old Control F, flip the canvas. Give us a fresh look at this composition. Roadway going that way maybe? Into like some sort of entrance. See, that's what's good about flipping the canvas. You just see, you normally see something. See something you didn't see before. How can I make that look bigger? Right guys, who's with me? And the answer is to bend it, bend the angle slightly. That gives you that perspective. I know what's going to happen. This is just going to turn into one of these weird, surreal paintings again, isn't it? Oh well. Slant it. Tit. Sorry. Flipper again. So, don't know what's going on there. Yeah, this could work. I'm going to try and really work that perspective. Really give it some depth. Right guys, we love depth. Sorry. Okay. Just add some, I think they're called contour lines, so you're describing the shape in 3D space. Like I've done there. And you can see the lines as they come to the horizon line, which is about there. They get straighter and then more extreme as they get higher. And that is perspective, ladies and gentlemen. And also in the distance, the perspective gets flatter and flatter. Don't know what's going on here. Should we just get rid of it? Yeah. I'm not going to do too much sketching. I want to dive right into the painting as soon as possible. Remember, always make funny noises. Top tip. It makes you paint better. Everyone knows that. All the best artists do it. Or is it just me? I don't know. I find it helps anyway. See, that I thought would be cool, but it's fighting for composition now with this guy. Back down you go. Where you belong. That's where composition becomes instinctual. Like, there's no book that says, if you're going to do a tower, don't do that bigger. It's just, it becomes instinctual with experience. You just, something in your head knows, you're like, that doesn't look right. Composition's a funny subject, because most people will just be like, okay, just use rule of thirds. 1, 2, 3, 4. You need 3 focal points, divide the canvas in thirds. But I mean, this isn't necessarily following that, but you know, it's a good enough composition. It's going to work. What I do want to make sure is my clouds are following perspective as well. So as they get further away, they get smaller and flatter. Kind of like that. Sort of. So some little pipes sticking out. You gotta have the pipes. Planet? Don't know. We'll see. Alright, I might start painting this bad boy. So yeah, what's that? 8 minutes. Got ourselves a little sketch. Keeping it loose. Loosey goosey. This will be our foreground. Background, keep it light and loose. Some sort of big mountain up there. And yes, let's paint it. Okay, I'll do my little trick I showed you in last week's video. Well, not last week, because I'm probably going to release this back to back. We're going to pick a colour palette. Let's pick this one. I like that. What film's this from? Can't remember. Nice colour palette. Again, normally I just, you know, go straight in with my colour picker here. And I don't colour pick from other sources, but this is something I've been doing recently. It just you learn a lot about colour actually by doing this way. I would recommend not colour picking at all, especially not from a photo, but these kind of colour palettes from cinematic films, they're not so bad, because if you're picking from a photo, you're not gonna get that painterly cinematic look from a photo. But the best way is obviously to learn how to pick colours without needing to do this. But I'm just blabbing now. Lay this completely over, and then we'll go whoop, and then we'll go darker, and then we'll go darker. Nice gradient, and then we'll put in some of that pink. I think like the whole thing's just going to be a gradient from. So you'll probably find this is, if you bring up the colour wheel, you'll probably find these should be opposite ends of the colour wheel. So there, and then there, yeah, that's why it works. Complementary colour. So if you really don't know what to do, that is actually a good way to find a colour palette, is just use complementary colours. Let's use an actual proper brush, shall we? Use this one. Got to think of a light setup as well. So we've already got, it's a lot easier now because we've already got our sketch. So we don't have to think as much now. We've got our composition idea, which is always a bonus if you don't have to think. Because I can't think and do other stuff at the same time. I can only do one thing at a time to a good standard. Dun, dun, dun. Right, fill this shape in. I like the kind of pink in the background. It's nice. Bring in some of that. That colour maybe? Yeah. Have a nice gradient. Almost like a sunset on an alien world. The sunset on an alien world. Sound like Brian Cox. Depending on what country you're watching this from, you would have no idea what that reference is. Brian Cox. Sound effects. Blend some of that red into the bluey colour. Alright, so gonna have some light. Smack in. Okay, we're gonna have, again, we're gonna stick with a classic. I'm getting excited now, just thought of an idea. Light coming through this way, but it's gonna hit the sides of these buildings, creating a cool, I mean this is standard cinematic lighting right now. You have fairly dark scene and an intense light coming through the scene, like so. Here's one I made earlier. Like that. Bring back the brush again, let's choose a different brush. Remember what I said before? Use your brush variety, many brushes as possible. That's how you're going to get that cool traditional look to your work. Bum, bum, bum. Fill these bits in. Contrast. Let's get some more contrast here as well, actually. Contrast meaning light versus dark equals a focal point. Oh, bugger. Wrong button. I must look like an old person sometimes. Like, oh, where's that button? Right. Smudge. That one. Let's blend this in. Cool. Get rid of that now. Gotta have faith. I'm already thinking, is this even gonna work? But it will. There's always the kind of ugly, what am I doing part of every painting. Especially when you're just doing it from your brain. You just gotta have faith. You can pull through. You can do it. But this is obviously where you gotta know your fundamentals. It's only gonna work because I know about light setup, which is what I'm doing now, and I know the fundamentals of landscape art. Just, you know, contrast goes down the further back you go into the scene. Atmospheric perspective, I know how to use values, so lights and darks. I know how to use colour. I know perspective to a point, but as long as you know a few fundamentals to image making, you can pretty much just do this, make a mess, and then turn it into something tangible. Start to bring down this layer. Let's make some clouds, shall we? Get me cloud brush out. Nothing too saturated, because the further back something is, the lower the saturation. So here, another fundamental. I know in order to make that pop, let's have a dark cloud right here. And then, there you go. Bam. You can paint with the cloud brush. I was just giving myself permission to paint a solid object with a soft brush. That's crazy, right? You can do that. He's lost it. Keep the faith. This is going to be an okay painting. Use the old lasso. Oh, can I keep this going? Yes! Little trick. Light on the horizon line. Boom. Works every time, ladies and gentlemen. Every single time. 90% of the time, it works all the time. I think I got that wrong. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum. Some light hitting up here, bit hitting here. Doesn't matter that it's a soft brush, we'll tighten those edges up, no worries. fact, screw this soft brush. I always test them out quickly, just so I can see whether I want to use that certain brush or not. Right, so we're going back in distance, which is just what I wanted. Bring some of this back in. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Let's merge the whole thing, shall we? Even the sketch. Let's start making sense of this. If that's actually possible. Light bouncing off those rocks there. Hitting that. Hitting that. Hitting that. Start building up more and more detail and paint strokes. This one's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Even for me. Give it the old flip. How long have we been? 20 minutes. I've gone quiet, I'm concentrating. Let's have some clouds coming in here. That'll give it some welly. Right, let's get our darkest values out of the way. Darkest and lightest values, go. Just so we have our full value range on the canvas. I discussed that in the last tutorial. You can check it by going image levels. So yeah, we need some light values in there. And that should be just like literally 5 to 10% of your painting. I don't want to do it too far up here because that's like too far out of the way of the composition. I need to adjust the entire composition then. Blend it. Lovely. Actually back that off a little bit. Nice, nice blend. Little bits here that I drew earlier. Maybe some structure work. This stuff's quite difficult to do. But I can do it. Again, I'm probably not going to sit and let this video run for like too much longer, because after a certain amount of time the painting's actually done and it's literally just detail to go then. And detail is just more of the same, just zoomed in. So it's nothing to cry about. The most important part of the painting is what I'm showing you now, is how to get one started. Little shadow behind it. Don't forget the shadows. Right, let's make some actual hard edges, shall we? Because everything's a little bit soft at the minute. Am I right, guys? Probably cut those bits out, eh? Sound effects, of course. Stop with the spiky things, Mark. You do it too much. Make it a bit more rounded. So sometimes you have to tell yourself off a little bit. Bad hand. You don't want to keep repeating the same work patterns. You need to get loose and creative. Do some different shapes. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum. I want on that bit long enough. Same for this bit. Oops. Right, I think what I will show is some photo textures, because in the last video my goddamn Photoshop crashed before I got the chance to show any. So we'll do that in a second. Because they can really kind of get some ideas going. Some nice little, like, you don't want to be reliant on them too heavily, of course. It needs to be your painting. But they are an excellent way to get stuff flowing, which you will see in a second. It's the same thing, like I always say, it's the same as looking at clouds in the sky. You're just creating chaos onto a canvas and then using your knowledge of fundamentals to turn it into a painting. Right, let's sort this bit out. This is annoying me. Does that even make sense? Does that make sense? I don't know. This is Chewbacca. That does not make sense. Nice, nice, nice. Get rid of that line work. Nice, nice, nice. Sweet. Love that. Starting to get some epic scale now. Boom shakala. Right, let's smudge out some of this line work. You still want a little bit there because it kind of gives it that traditional look that I kind of like in my paintings. I'm trying to like basically reverse engineer my paintings so they're traditional. Why don't I just do traditional art? Because it's too messy. I think I will do some soon though. In fact, I might do some today. I'm going to start recording Instagram reels and they're going to be mainly based on traditional painting, I think. People seem to like seeing that. I like to show that I'm an actual artist and not just a blagger, because there's so many fakes and blaggers out there. It's unbelievable. Does my head in. Everyone thinks they're an artist these days, including me. No, I am a goddamn artist. Of course I am. Look how good I am. I can make these stupid paintings out of nothing. Let's do an auto contrast. And it did nothing, which is a great sign. If you do auto contrast on Photoshop and it does nothing, that means you've got your values spot on. But you can see, look, we've got our darkest dark, we've got our lightest light somewhere, and then everything in between. Boom. Ideal. I kind of like this one, it's working out okay. Let's just use my favourite smudge brush quickly. Just smudge in some little smudgeries. Hope for some happy accidents. Like your birth. It was an accident. I don't know who I'm talking to there. Just ignore that. It's going to be the most amateur YouTube video ever. I don't care. I just kind of like doing these because it kind of shows my clients that I am a real person. I don't just like, it's the thing with the internet. You don't know who's real on there, you don't know who's not. You got to show yourself. You got to show yourself doing your art. Otherwise, no one's going to actually trust you that you can really pull off what you're trying to sell. So it's important these days. Accountability. That's what you need. If you're struggling to get clients, start showing the world that you're an artist and you can paint. You're not just a fake. Right, photo textures I promised, didn't I? Let's have a look. I've got tons of photo textures on here. Best thing to do is use some absolutely random ones, like ones that have like nothing to do with what you're painting. So I've got like pictures of tractors and stuff. And just got kind of like throwing stuff like this in there. Put it on a soft light layer, lower the opacity. and just play around with it. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you have to find something else. But I will make this work. Yeah, so nice little detail there. Look. We'll use that. Erase out. Oops. Some bits. And then duplicate. Flip it. Just some little details. That's all this bit's for, is just cheating detail. Detail is probably the least important part of a painting, but everyone sees the detail first. It's like the icing on a cake. If you just had a pile of icing, you'd be like, what the hell's that? Where's the cake? Smart. Smart comparison there. I don't want to change the colour too much. Try that out. See if that will work. Not really, but I'll roll with it. Let's use some other stuff, shall we? Need something a little bit more. Like stuff like this is great for like rock details. Like that's just the mud on the side of like a tractor bit, and you could just put that up there, make it a bit smaller. Make sure it doesn't change the values too much, so I might lighten that up a bit. But yeah, you kind of got just like instant texture and detail for your rocks and stuff. It's pretty fun. It's a fun process doing this. And every now and then it gives you a new idea as well. Let's just quickly zoom in and do a bit of detail. I want to get some light underneath these clouds going. That would be nice to do. So if you see how undetailed this is, like when you zoom in it just looks awful. But that's exactly what painting it should be like. Detail comes last. The most important thing is the fundamentals, the composition, the values and the lighting and all the rest of it. And if you've got that, then really you don't even need to detail it, but you know, obviously you do want to detail it because people are going to look closely at it, but it needs to work from far away for starters. It needs to work without any detail. Again, get rid of these leftover pencil marks. Nice, like a sunset on an alien world. Ryan Cox again. Again, I'm still being pretty loose. See, how cool is that? This is why I love painting. You're just fooling the viewer that this is real. This is an environment. And all I'm doing just laying down shapes and colours just onto a canvas. It's magic. is magical. Creation, man. Make that a bit more contrasty. Or was that a bit too contrasty? Yeah, way too contrasty. Jesus. Maybe about to that. We'll do. Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's a broken bit there. I don't know. And then this would be cool. Get some bit of structural detail going here. See, this would be a perfect place for a photo overlay, to be honest. I'd rather not do any of this bit. I know this is a flower brush, but it doesn't matter. Okay, just get those edges a little bit better now. Blend it. That could be like a double one. Whatever the one is, I don't know. Oops. Smudge, use this one again. This one's good for getting like a nice hard edge to stuff. Use this smudger a lot. It's my favourite. Don't know why I had to put on that stupid voice. Right. Okay. Guess this is a tangible thing now, isn't it? Little trick, show you quickly here. Go around it, get a nice lasso around it, and then get your soft brush, and then we'll paint in some atmosphere. So it segregates those two layers, but blend it in. Don't just have it like a straight up plain sort of thing. I have to show an example for that. I can't really explain it, but I tried to say it before. You don't just want like dark, medium, light. It has to all seamlessly blend together like this. See that? I'm not just going to have an edge of dark and then it goes straight to light. I want to like put in some little bits of atmosphere that are kind of interrupting that flow. That's how you make an atmospheric painting work. Yeah, I like this mix of the pink and the greeny blue. It's nice. Very nice. Thanks whatever movie that colour palette was from. Then we've got our photo textures up here. There you some light sneaking in the side there. I don't know. Right, I want to play around with distort a little bit quickly. quickly. Maybe that can be off screen. Do a warp. A bit more of an extreme angle. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. And I want to increase the grid. And then pull this down as well. Okay. Interesting little change. That's the thing. Don't be scared to evolve your composition. Oh my god, we're at 45 minutes. God damn. Probably going to stop it in a minute and then just do some detailing. So this has been 45 minutes. The idea is basically there, and then I'll spend another 20 minutes just zoomed in and just refining everything with detail. Kind of moving into that phase now. Let's chuck in a few photos quickly. Let's get maybe, there's one I use all the time, and it's these two here, especially when I'm doing like some sort of structure. It's literally like instant detail for industrial things. So for example, you could whop that in there, stick it on a soft light, maybe flip it. And then yeah, you've got like an instant detail going on. Let's try that, and then maybe do a little bit of a blur, so it's not as oh, wrong button. Well, do filter gallery, paint dobs, a load of detail. Why is that on brush? It's just supposed to be subtle. It's not supposed to be the actual painting. So just be very careful when doing this. See, most of it's gone now, but again, it's just like just some subtle details like there. Duplicate it again, make it smaller. Kind of works. Yeah, that's cool. I think one of my signature things to do, let's check the contrast quickly. Good. Tone. No, leave it at that. Let's check the composition again. There's something I'm not liking here. Let's put more of a kind of slope to the whole thing. I think maybe that photo I just put in might have ruined the flow a little bit. That's why you got to be careful. Because the flow, it's kind of like this, right? So you got to make sure it's honouring that. That's more compositional stuff again. It's hard to explain. It's just you go, yeah, that looks good. Don't know why, it just looks good. It's all to do with just the placement of objects in your scene. Don't know. Get a different brush. One of these. Let's calm that down a little bit. Started watching the old live action of One Piece the other day. Really enjoyed it. I'd always known about the anime and how bloody long it was, but so that's why I thought, yeah, let's watch the live action. It'd be easier to consume. It was great. Pretty much made me want to become a pirate. That's why I like being a digital nomad, because I'm at home at the minute, but normally I'm like traveling and doing my job, and it just feels like a pirate adventure, just going away to unknown places and finding treasure. But in reality, you're just in cafes working, pretty much. But it's fun. It's an adventure. I don't know where I'm going with this. God, we're nearly at an hour. Crank it down. Lead the viewer in. This is the best bit actually. You can make little kind of ledges and stuff. Detail phase is fun. Right, I'm going to leave it at that and then finish this bad boy off. It's not going to look too much different. Most important part has been done. Hopefully I didn't waffle on about a bunch of nonsense too much, but as I always promise on my videos, I will be more professional in future. It's not just going to be unscripted improv. It's actually going to be a bit more professional. So yeah, I'm going to finish this off. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will put the finished one at the end of the video now.